So if you're like me, you learned Roman numerals as a kid in elementary school, and you thought you had them down. You even understood the subtraction rule, where you would put an I before a V to get 4, or an X before a C to get 90, and so on. But it turns out that the Roman numerals you learned in school were kind of idealized. Roman numerals, as practiced historically, were a somewhat more loosey-goosey affair. First, if you've ever looked at clocks with Roman numerals, you've probably noticed that the subtraction rule is kind of optional. Yes, there's the IX for 9, but also often I for 4. In truth, both ways were accepted. Using 4 I's or 4 X's or 4 C's was pretty common. Second, if you're like me, you were taught to only subtract one character at a time. But at some places and times in history, you could find subtraction of 2 characters. For instance, 18 could be written as XVIII or as XIX. That's 10 plus 2 less than another 10. The same goes for subtracting x's. For instance, 80 might be written as XXC. Third, when doing this subtractive notation, you probably learned that only certain symbols could be subtracted. From an X, you can only subtract an I. From a C, you can only subtract an X. So, for example, you would write the number 99 as XCIX, subtracting X from C for 90 and I from X for 9. But once again, actual practices differed. In some, admittedly rare cases, you might find the number 99 rendered as IC, 1 less than 100. Or, combining this with double subtraction, you might see the number 48 written as IIL, 2 less than 50. Bottom line, Roman numerals had options and variations. And if there are any students watching this, I have great news for you. Because if you use these variant rules in taking a test on this subject, your teacher might give you a C.